Coach, you guys got the start you were looking for, pick six on the first play, and then some coverage issues. What were you guys thinking at that point?
When we got the pick six, and then they turned right around and returned the kickoff. I mean, we knew that was going to be the type of game it is. They're a good football team. They're a really good football team, and we knew we were in for a dogfight. Now, did we know that they were going to return that kick? Absolutely not. We had some coverage breakdowns that we fixed. Um, but it didn't take us by surprise. We knew that we were going to be in for an all-day affair.
And then not only that, but then Jesse Blackburn on the fourth down, gutsy call, makes a big catch over the top.
Yeah.
And defensively, you guys seem to answer and answer and answer. 5 fumbles and 3 lost. What do you tell the team after that?
No, they knew. They knew. I told them that we'd watch the film, and I don't like to say too much to them after a loss because there's some things that you may say just because you're feeling a certain way, and then all of a sudden you look on film and it really wasn't that way. But they knew. I mean, when you play a team of that caliber and you put the ball on the ground one time, it's going to be a tough, a tough day for you. If you put it on the field, how many did you say? 5 times? If you put it on the ground 5 times, you shouldn't even be in that ball game. But on the positive of that, I'm going to tell you this. On the positive of that, we were in that ball game at the end. All of those kids knew that we were in that ball game. They played until the end. They played very hard, and I'm very proud of that. Because turning it over that many times, the weather. I mean, you ask any of those offensive kids, the weather, they're not going to blame anything. I mean, that wasn't a fight. That wasn't an issue. We just, weather is what it is. They played in it too, and we had some injuries that we had to piece together and patch together, and that's what I'm so proud of. Is man, we were out there telling kids where to go, what routes to run, because they're playing different positions they've ever been. You probably saw Zach Shipley on the defensive side of the ball. And we had a lot of guys, Quincy Williams, just talking about some guys that hadn't played a whole lot of snaps that stepped up and made a lot of plays for us. We had a lot of guys, man, that went out there and busted their tails, and made some plays for this football team in some really tough positions.
How tough was it to go up against Dino Fanti? I feel like he had such a good game for you guys. Their defensive tackle, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 big stops on runs.
They got a lot of good players over there. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they're as solid a football team as I've ever played. They're very good defensively. They're very good offensively. Credit to our defense. I thought, man, our defense, they played lights out, just with how many weapons EIU has and all of that kind of stuff. So, but they're a good football team. They're a well-rounded football team. They don't do anything bad.
Coach, on that 80-yard touchdown pass, was that just a coverage breakdown, and what kind of went through everyone's head when that happened?
Nothing. I mean, it's like I said, when you play teams like this, it was a coverage breakdown. Obviously, usually when you hit somebody for 80 yards, it is a coverage breakdown. But that's the kind of game it was going to be. And I knew that. Kids knew that. Everybody knew that going into it. It's the way all of these games that we have left on our schedule are going to be. They're going to be 4-quarter games, and it's our job to make them 4-quarter games. And like I said, I thought with the effort that our kids showed and played with, they were able to make it a 4-quarter game.
What was the message going into halftime after a high scoring affair in the first quarter? And then
just respond. That's been our theme of the week. And we told the kids no matter what happened, whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether it was a pick six, whether it was a kickoff coverage breakdown, and they returned it to just respond, man. Just respond and react. Don't worry about the action. Don't worry about what happened. Just worry about reacting to it, getting it fixed, playing the next play, and just responding. And and that was the message. That's been the message all week. And I thought that our kids, for the most part, they did a good job responding. We just put it on the ground too many times.
The defense obviously had a great game this weekend. What was the game plan, and how well do you think they executed it?
Well, I thought they executed the game plan tremendously well because they had a lot of moving parts. There was a lot of personnel that they were rolling in and out just because of some injuries and some weak points and all of that kind of stuff. So I thought they did tremendously, and I credit the defensive staff to that. I credit those kids, our players, for that because there was an awful lot of moving parts going into the game. And then You know, and then on the other side of that, offensively, there wasn't as many moving parts. But once we got to the third quarter, all of a sudden, there was about 1,000 moving parts, and we started, piecing and patching and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I thought the defensive staff and the defensive player, I thought they did a tremendous job.
How would you describe the execution of your offense today?
Not very good. Not very good. I mean, we had the turnovers, and I just thought that there was some things. We didn't protect the quarterback sometimes awfully well. We had a couple of missed runs. I mean, there was a couple of runs that could have really hit that we just missed. We didn't get to that hole. We had some drops out wide. Some key drops and some. And again, some guys that are put in some situations to make plays and didn't. And so just it wasn't very good from an execution standpoint. It was not very good offensively.
Your team, you've had some close losses this year. Is this all a part of the process of learning how to close out ball games and, to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's all we're worried about is the process. I don't know. I'm not looking at it in a grand scheme kind of thing right now. We're just trying to go day to day, week to week, and be as good of a football team as we can. And right now, we've got some things like 5 turnovers that's hindering us from doing that. And but the kids have been very mature about it. They understand. Nobody needed a big speech from me after the game to tell them what went wrong. Everybody knew exactly what went wrong. And we're just, like I said, we're just working the process, man. It's a day, and we're not looking ahead. We're not looking at a grand scheme or anything like that. It's just a day to day, week to week, play by play, series by series execution, process right there. And right now, we're not working the process very well.